Welcome to the weekly weather briefing. Again, this is John Fox, meteorologist in Spokane, and we're going to look at the weather ahead for the upcoming week. Before we get to that, I'd like to point out how unusual this October has actually been. And what we're looking at here is the amount of precipitation which has fallen over the course of the month. And all this purple and magenta over Washington and Idaho indicates anywhere from 3 to 6 times the normal amount of precipitation fallen for the month, and that's pretty much true of all of Oregon, or most of Oregon as well, and all of northern California. So it's been an unusually wet month across all of the inland Northwest. Well, just how wet has it been, you might ask? Well, on the left is the list of all of the record precipitation reports we've gotten for the whole month. Some places like Priest River, Idaho, 9¼ inches. Wenatchee Airport, 2.01 inches. But those were all record values for the month of October. Not only did we break those monthly records, but in Spokane as well, we had 6.21 inches of rain for the month. So not only was that the wettest October we've seen, it's the wettest month we've ever seen, period, in Spokane. And those records go back into the 1880s. So that's pretty unusual that we could do that. So needless to say, if we look at the river status right now, and we're not seeing any flooding or anything like that, but all these blue circles correlate to places where we're at the 90th percentile or higher for the river levels right now, and where we see the black dots, that's actually records for the date. So despite how high the rivers actually are, we really haven't seen a whole lot of widespread flooding other than some lowland flooding and maybe some small rock slides and things like that. But considering all the precipitation we've seen for the month, we really haven't seen a whole lot of impacts. So that's just kind of October in review. But let's move ahead and see what kind of weather we're going to expect as we go into November. So we are going to see breezy conditions for this afternoon. Some places are at their peak now, and some places will be at their peak in the next hour or two. We'll also see a pretty good chance of rain during the trick-or-treat this evening, and we'll show you where the best chances for that are going to be. The wet weather, like I said, is going to continue into Tuesday as well, but we're actually looking at some prolonged, well, I shouldn't say prolonged, but some dry weather at least for the middle week periods. There's a small front that'll come through and bring a small chance of rain Wednesday night and Thursday. We could see some valley fog developing. And then by the time we get to weekend, you guessed it, more rain is expected. Perhaps Saturday dry, but certainly Saturday night and Sunday looks wet at this time. So let's look at those winds briefly, and here's what we're expecting as far as wind gusts for this afternoon into early this evening. We're looking at widespread 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts across much of the Columbia Basin, Palouse, Spokane area, Waterville Plateau, and certainly down here by the Blue Mountains. As we get toward sunset or after sunset, the winds will start to decrease a little bit, but we're going to hold on to a chance of rain, especially as we look to areas to the north and east of Spokane. Best chances of rain are going to be here from Colville to Sandpoint to Bonners Ferry, across the northern half of the Idaho Panhandle. Elsewhere, we don't expect to see much rain at all. The rain we do see shouldn't be terribly heavy, but it could make for some nuisance trick-or-treating, especially over North Idaho and northeast Washington. And we're looking at snow above 5,500 feet or a little bit higher. So that's for this evening. For tomorrow, just showing you a 500 millibar map here. And all it's showing you is there's a little weak disturbance moving over the top of us. And as that does, it's going to bring us some more rain chances for tomorrow. And here is where we're expecting to see the best chances of rain tomorrow. Really, once again, it looks like it's over north central, northeast Washington into the Idaho Panhandle, as well as near the Cascade Crest. Again, snow levels look like they're about 5,000 to 5,500 feet, so most passes will not be impacted by this chance of precipitation tomorrow. As far as rainfall amounts go, it's certainly not going to be anything like what we saw last night into this morning. Most of the precipitation amounts will be less than 0.15 of an inch, except again, over the North Idaho Panhandle, we could be looking at 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch amounts. Same thing near the Cascade Crest, but most of the area will see fairly light rainfall amounts for the late night and tomorrow system. All right, as we move forward, we're going to see mostly dry weather by the middle of the week. That low pressure trough that we were seeing tomorrow moves into the upper Midwest, and we actually see a weak ridge of high pressure, that's this little blue line here, moving into eastern Washington and North Idaho. There's a little weak system off the coast, and that is going to move in on Wednesday night and Thursday, but it really doesn't look like it's going to do a whole lot. So I'm showing you the highest chance of precipitation we're going to see for that Wednesday night and Thursday period, and we're only looking at chances of precipitation in the 30 to 50% range over most areas. And as far as rainfall amounts go, it's going to be fairly light, anywhere from 1/10 of an inch to 2/10 of an inch, and snow levels are going to be above 7,000 feet for most areas. So that's a pretty minor system compared to what we've been seeing, but it is a chance of rain, again, Wednesday night into Thursday. All right, then as we skip ahead to the weekend, it looks like Friday is going to be dry and probably the beginning of Saturday as well. But we see another upper level trough move through, as denoted by this red L right there and the red dotted line. That looks like it moves through Saturday night and Sunday. As it does, it's going to bring a pretty high chance of precipitation to most locations. Right now we're calling it about a 50 to 70% chance of precipitation. My guess is it's probably going to be increasing by the time we get closer to that event. But it looks like for eastern Washington, the best chances are going to be Saturday night, shifting into the Idaho Panhandle by Sunday. Rainfall amounts could be moderate. We're looking at anywhere from 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, but locally higher over the Idaho Mountains, Northeast Washington Mountains, and perhaps the Cascade Mountains as well. So that's really it from the precipitation standpoint as far as what we're looking for. As far as temperatures go, we've been fairly mild over the past couple weeks or so, and it looks like that trend is going to continue at least through the next 7 days. The red line here indicates the high temperatures we're forecasting for Spokane. The red dotted line is what the normal temperatures are supposed to be. So we're supposed to see highs in the mid to upper 40s this time of year, and it looks like we're going to stick in the low to mid 50s through the week. Even the low temperatures are going to be fairly mild for this time of year, so we remain above freezing through the whole week. Normal lows should be right around freezing, if not a little bit cooler than that for this time of year. Lewiston, same story. Temperatures remaining quite a bit above normal, milder than normal for what we should see this time of year. Finally then, as we skip ahead to the 6 to 10 day outlook, we are looking for the warmer than normal temperatures to continue. And it looks like from a precipitation standpoint, near normal chances of precipitation. It could either be wet, it could either be dry. It looks like the wettest weather is going to hang off the coast. I did look at the 8 to 14 day outlooks, and actually it's calling for a pretty good chance of drier than normal conditions then as we get beyond into the middle of November is what we're looking at. So the wet weather we've seen of October looks like it may be changing slowly as we ease into November. So here's just a review of the weather we're expecting for the upcoming week. Again, showers tonight and Tuesday, mainly dry weather through the midweek with light rain chances on Wednesday night and Thursday, and then more wet weather by the weekend. But really, the next 7 days, we're not looking at any big impact events for the next 7 day period. Certainly no snow is in our forecast, except perhaps over the highest mountains. And other than that, it just looks like warm weather is going to continue. So with that, I've spoken enough, and I will open it up for questions, if any. You as well. Thank you.